Hello and welcome to this episode of Microchips, and on the bench today we have two radios that share something in common, which is the main board that they have, but two very different radios that we're going to look at. I'm going to give them a quick service, quick check over, and yeah. But anyway, before we start, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, join Facebook, join Patreon, buy me a coffee, have a look at my website, microchips.net. And let's get started. So let's start off with this Tristar 777. So let's get the lid off. And we can see that this radio has been previously lived in. Most definitely. With a EEPROM board there, and looks like it's controlling all the bands. But for you eagle-eye people there, you will notice that this is a 125 board. So let's have a look at the PCB side. And yeah, the obligatory ribbon going to the PLL, no doubt with some sliced tracks as well. All the crystals have been removed apart from one, so it's had a single crystal modification, which is absolutely fine. And we seem to have a black wire flapping about in the breeze, and it looks like it's come from the signal meter, so that will need reconnecting. And we can see there's something going on the back of the VCO there, which we will investigate later. And there we are for you people playing at home, 125. So I mean, the work that's been done in this radio is not too bad, to be honest. I mean, I've seen a lot worse, but I've seen a lot better. But the EEPROM seems to be held into place quite nicely, so looks like somebody has taken some care. Let's have a look at what bands it's got. So super low, low band, and we have a 10kc switch as well. Just seeing if any of the other switches do anything, which they don't. We've just got a 10kc switch, which is absolutely fine. Got low band, mid band, high band, UK40, and a super high band. VCO seems to lock all over the spread, so I wonder if that's something to do with that little modification underneath. But yeah, all the bands seem to be there, no problem. That seems to be working as intended. So there's no need for me to rip this out to put one of my boards in to gain absolutely nothing. The first thing we need to do is reconnect this signal meter up, so at least that will work again. And you can see where the crystals and the trimmers have been removed there for the single crystal modification. Just checking the other wire, making sure it's secure. That's fine. Switch the radio on, transmit, meter moves. Fantastic. Let's move along. So we're going to do the SSB audio limiter, which means removing one resistor and changing it for a 3.9k, which we will do. So there's the resistor, and in its place will go a 3.9k, just like so. And we'll get that soldered into place. Fantastic. Let's check the SSB carriers. So 692 is not too bad, to be honest. Just bring it down just a tiny little bit. Yep, well within spec. 695's pretty much bang on. Let's have a look at the final transmit frequency. So we've got the counter hooked up to the antenna, and we are a little bit low, but seeing as this is a single crystal conversion, it makes it nice and easy to bring all the bands up in one go. Okay, UK 40's off, but I think I've spotted where the trimmer is for that. And there we go, that was just on the back of the EEPROM board. Yep, close enough. So let's check the voltage on the bias and the base of the final, looking for about 0.7 of a volt. And we're a little bit low, so we can adjust that up on the underside and get it roughly 0.7 of a volt. Fantastic. Now let's have a look at this on the back of the VCO. So it looks like it's altering the VCO voltage, depending on what band it is. Wondering if that's helping with broadbanding it a little bit. So it only seems to be active on the two lowest bands, and it's being driven from one of the pins on the PLL. Now, one thing I did notice was this rustling noise coming out the speaker at low volume, which is quite common with some of these sets. So let's see if we can't quieten that down. So going off what I found on a multimode 3, we're going to change the AF pre-driver, and now it's nice and quiet. Even though the transistor reads fine, for some reason they just go noisy and cause that rustling noise. But yeah, seems lovely and quiet now. I think that's it for this radio. Let's get the lid back on, give it a quick test, and this can go back to the customer. And on to the next radio. So the next radio we have is a Hygain 5, but you may notice that this is the 4-band version with CW and fine and coarse as well, with its original switched beep. So I think this is the 8975 variant, and I didn't notice this to start off with, but this is actually the 50 channel version instead of the standard 40. So I never actually had to play with a 50 channel one before, so let's see what it's all about. And there we have it again, exactly the same 125 board, but this one looks considerably less butchered than the last one. In fact, this one looks like doesn't look like it's been touched at all, so that's obviously nice to see. Everything looks really original. 3rd week of 81 PLL. All its crystals are still in situ. Fantastic. A very, very clean example of a Hygain 5. So let's have a look at the frequencies. So we are a bit low on the frequencies. Now I'm not sure what channel 1s should be on this, so I've had to go and have a look up and find out what the channels are. So it's actually quite clever, the channels, the way they work on this, because if you go into band C and go to 55, that's 555. And if you go to 78, that's channel 19. So if you think about it as frequencies, 55, 555, 7812, it's quite ingenious really that they've mapped out the channels to kind of match the frequency. But anyway, the customer wants this radio keeping as original as possible, but with improvements that can be done, and the obvious improvements with this are a voltage feed VCO and the SSB audio limiter. I think if we do those and give it a good tune up, this radio will be singing again. So there's our voltage feed VCO, available on my website and through me directly via the Facebook group. So I soldered it into place. Because this radio is in such good condition, we're even going to wipe off the excess flux with a cotton bud and some alcohol, just to make it look as tidy as possible underneath. We just need to find the AVR 9 volts, and that's on the pink wire. Just making sure it's an all time, yep, all time 9 volts. So that's where we need to connect to. So I've soldered the wire on, and now we're going to neatly cable tie the wire into place. Trying to make this as tidy as we can inside. So let's set the VCO voltage. So I've got my meter onto the test point, and we're going to go through all the bands to make sure that there is a healthy VCO voltage across all the bands, which is easy enough to do. Just go to the band extremities and make sure we've got at least a volt. So on the lowest channels we should have the highest voltage, and moving up to the highest channel we get the lowest voltage. So again, we're going to do the SSB audio limiter. So exactly the same as the one we've just done. I'm going to remove the resistor and replace it with a 3.9k. So there's the resistor out. We'll put this one in its place and we'll solder it in. Absolutely lovely. So we're on the SSB carrier test point. We're just going to adjust the SSB carriers, get them as close as possible with these twitchy trimmer capacitors that they like to have, but with a little patience and perseverance we can get it as close as. So 695's good. Moving to the 692. Get that roughly into place. There we go, that'll do just nicely. Now we'll check the actual output frequency, and we can see it's all over the show, but at least we should know that it should be on the 5s. So I found a table of what each band should be channel 1, and I've adjusted it accordingly. Just checking the LSB offset.
Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 1, 2.
Now I'm checking it against my 891. So, sounds good.
Audio.
Let's have a listen to the beep. So it has a standard beep, not the peewit beep. So let's check the bias of the final. And that's a bit low. So in that test point, which is the base, and this VR, we're just going to gently bring it up to about 0.7 of a volt. It doesn't have to be bang on, but around about 0.7 is usually considered just good. Because if you check the pre-drive, yep, that's fine. Don't need to adjust that. So we've got an input signal at minus 72 dBm, and we're just getting just below an S9. So we'll move that to an S9. Beautiful. Let's detune the SSB a little bit. What we can do is just bring this up just a tiny little bit. Very nice. And some Synad readings for the Synad lovers out there. And this thing has got really, really good ears. Down at minus 130 dB, we can still hear the tone. Go to minus 130, you can just about hear the tone in the background. This thing's pretty sensitive. So, giving it a good test, everything's good, and it can go back to the customer. So, 2 different radios, but 2 same boards. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, join Facebook, join Patreon, buy me coffee, have a look at my website, microchips.net. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.